Thank you for joining us on this special Halloween or Samhain, High Satanic Holy Day. Yes, we're live. We're not out celebrating while the other little ghouls and goblins with their lesser magic basically manifesting the occult takeover for the Illuminati. We are here fighting the New World Order, but it is Samhain, the night before All Saints' Day. And if you go back more than 3,000 years, the Druids sacrificed men, women, and children all over what is Western Europe and the UK today. And that's not Alex Jones or Fritz Springmeier, our guest who's coming up in a moment. That's Encyclopedia Britannica. That's the history. That's the facts. And the question is, why is this a holiday that has been made popular? It wasn't even exercised or basically observed in this country until the 1950s, when television made it popular and cute and funny. But the iconography, the symbolism is just amazing. Now, Fritz Springmeier, an amazing author, researcher, West Point grad, patriot, who was a guest of mine, a person I met several times, really is a person who led a very upstanding life, no criminal record, and they set him up 8+ years ago and put him in prison for bank robbery, literally with paid informants and others, putting him under the jail. And Fritz had been raided. Fritz was getting harassed right before all this happened because he was really exposing the Illuminati. Now, we talked for over an hour today on the radio about that. It's posted here at prisonplanet.tv. It'll be posted at our YouTube channel for the general public to inform them and edify them. But now, in the next 20 minutes or so, I want to just focus, and by the way, I'm springing this on him because, pun intended, because right as we were about to interview him, I thought, wait, it's Halloween. Weird that we're first able to talk now on Halloween, and I know he's an expert on the Illuminati, the Satanism, the occult, so why not get him to start out talking about that and then looking at the end game, the motives of the globalist. He, of course, in fact, guys, it's in my office if somebody will go grab it. It's Bloodlines of the Illuminati. In fact, bring it to me now. They actually have it. I want to show it to people. This is the book that we sell at Infowars.com. He's just gotten out of prison, and in the near future, he'll be selling all of his books again. But I asked him on the radio today, where's the best place to get it? And he said Infowars.com, because that's basically how they're operating right now. But this book is amazing, and I've told the story 10 years ago when I first read this. I really had trouble believing a lot of it, even though a lot of it I knew was true, and I'd already documented it. But separately, since then, in my own research, and going back to the Bohemian Grove and infiltrating again, I realized that I really have to accept this book as being the closest thing to reality I found concerning who and what the Illuminati are and what they're into. And I just have to absolutely praise and hail the incredible research of Fritz Springmeier. So I've put the preface out there. I'm going to try not to interrupt him, but he gets my brain burning with awakening and understanding. We turn to Fritz Springmeier. Fritz, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and hello to you and all of your listeners out there.
You heard my intro. Halloween, what's its history, what's it all about, and why did Madison Avenue popularize it in the 50s with the Monster Mash and the rest of it? What's it really all about?
Wow, you hit it in a nutshell right there with the few words that you said. It's an ancient satanic practice. People might say that the Druids weren't satanic, but their rituals definitely are what we would define as satanic. Those of us who are Christians and understand what the Word of God says, the Word tells us that the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. There's an evil power, the Bible names it as Satan, and controlling the world. And so with that understanding, if you understand that there's this force that is manipulating people, you then understand that the agenda that they're working is a satanic agenda. I know this is difficult for a lot of people to accept. Some people say, well, that's just your theory. It's not my theory. It's not my opinion. These people actually worship Satan and see secret. Worshipping Satan is satanic. I don't care. You know, one can live in their own la-la land and pretend that that's not Satanism, but it's Satanism. And Halloween is a satanic holiday. And you'll notice that it's connected with all this death, you know, spiders and spider webs and skeletons. And the whole theme is death, you know, where we are from the kingdom of life. And it's promoted because that's deep down what motivates these people that run this planet. Even if Satan hadn't set them up and put them in positions of power, they would have to become Satanists just simply because, as so many people have pointed out, theology follows morality. In other words, what your morality is, what you do, you're going to look for a religion to justify it. And these people, the things they do to their fellow man, even though they consider the rest of us like ants, what they do is so heinous that they would have to become Satanists to justify it on that basis alone. So they're bringing into the world something they're bringing their practices in. There was a book written by Alice Bailey, and it's externalization of the hierarchy. And in that book, she says the things that were done in secret in the occult world are now going to be externalized. And that's what we see with Halloween. These practices were secret in the occult, in the covens, and now all of this stuff is being externalized into mainstream America.
Well, Fritz, I've also noticed that whenever I talk about this stuff, I mean, 16, 17 years ago when I was just waking up and getting on air, I didn't cover these issues. And it was listeners that kept documenting all this for me and saying, you ought to go to Bohemian Grove. So I successfully snuck in. I didn't think that would actually be happening there. Then they said, oh, they're just having fun. It's a joke. I was in the crowd of over 1,500 men watching the ritual. They were grinding their teeth. They were in a religious fervor. I tried to talk. Mike Hansen did. Like, ooh, that's neat. And they would growl at him with hisses. I mean, I've been in a, evangelical church. I've gone to Baptist churches as a young person. My parents went to both. I've been around people in religious exaltation. This was beyond anything I've ever seen. This is real. And then I get the Wiccans and folks sending me emails going, how dare you demonize our religion? They may believe because they're into white magic that it's all good, but you study all these religions, the Aztecs, the Druids, the Romans did it, the Greeks even did human sacrifice, the Babylonians, when the Israelites went wrong, they all did human sacrifice. I mean, this is something that humans societally manifest, and for them to act like, and the atheists to act like, we're making something up and on witch hunts here. This is in anthropology. This is in archaeology. This is in sociology. Vampirism is at all-time highs. I mean, this is something that the human psyche seeks after. So whether it's spiritual or not, and we've had spiritual experiences, you and I, we know it's real, it doesn't matter. As you said, it's manifesting, and now it's coming to a crescendo. So how does this tie into mind control? What is the power structure in the world occult? In fact, let's get into that. You know, we hear about Illuminati. What's its manifestation today? How do the Satanists fit into that hierarchy?
We're talking about the world system, and the world system has been going on for a long time. The system that we see around us was created by these powerful entities, the powerful families. And people have sometimes said, well, you know, like this one person, they sent me a book, well, let's boycott the Illuminati companies. They don't have a clue. The whole system was set up. It was created by these people. We're operating in their system. They are the ones that control the means by where money is created. And so it's not... yeah, you can step outside of this system. I have tried to do that myself, but the idea of just, well, we're going to boycott this company or that, they don't realize how far-ranging this is.
Well, isn't that what mind control, Fritz? I mean, to interrupt, and I want you to continue. Isn't that the different layers of mind control, whereas you have actual admitted total CIA mind control slaves and things you and others have exposed? The general public, everybody to a certain extent, is under its influences, where they've created almost a false reality or a artificial enclosure or artificial habitat where, as you're saying, it is their system. And so I see people repeating it. I see myself repeating their nomenclature and systems unconsciously because we were raised up and literally grew from this wicked soil. And it's only through God that we're able to transcend it.
Well said. I am reluctant to speak because you do such a better job.
No, that's baloney. I learned a lot from you, Fritz. Your knowledge is way more advanced in some areas than mine. That's why we all talk to each other. Continue with the hierarchy of the system.
Well, back in the ancient mystery religions, they learned how to control people. There was several pillars to the control. One is they learned hypnosis, which they did in the Egyptian dream temples. They learned drugs, which are, during the Middle Ages they called witchcraft potions, but it's just drugs or narcotics. They learned how to control people with drugs, and they learned how to control people with torture and combined all of that. And in this century, they have used scientific methods to systematically improve it. What they're able to do is create multiple personality disorder, where they create a front person that they will set up as a pillar of society. And then this pillar of society person, who may be a philanthropist or whatever we want to call him, he will have, or she will have, hidden sides to them, hidden parts to them, other personalities, if in actuality, and those are going to be controlled by the dark side. So they create a good front. It's like the scripture says, Satan masquerades as an angel of light. So they set themselves up as the pillars of society, and it's really hard to confront what they're doing because so much of it's done in secret. But this whole thing's beyond one person. It's a system, and when you join the Illuminati, you join because you were born into certain generational satanic families, and you join an agenda. It's like growing up in a mafia family. In fact, some of the mafia families are interconnected with the Illuminati. And you're born into all these traditions, and they use traditions to control you. On this day, this is Halloween, so this is what's supposed to happen on Halloween. Now we're supposed to sacrifice somebody because it's Halloween. And you don't want to break the circle, you don't want to break tradition. You want to honor the family, you want to honor what's supposed to be done, blah, blah, blah. And so the person's trapped in this ritual and carries out this stuff. So it's a system. It's way beyond one person, and it really does disservice if we just yank one person attention. If we take attention and focus it on one person, because that one person is just, like Obama. There's a lot of people upset at Obama, but Obama is just one little cog in this whole machinery. He's the little puppet that the bigger boys are pulling the strings on.
Sure, absolutely. Somebody like Obama is a puppet. To get to the core of my question, in your research on the actual power structure, we would say politically, Bilderberg is up at the very top, but it's only one of several different management groups that interlock. If you look at the leadership of Bilderberg, they're the leadership of Trilateral, CFR, Royal Institute of International Affairs. It's a secret room, kind of good old boy mafia commission system. That's the temporal power. But then you find these groups are all obsessed with other secret societies. So I'm saying within the hierarchy globally of the Illuminati that you write about in Bloodlines of the Illuminati, now 10 years later, any revisions or added points you'd like to make when we look at the Illuminati structure, you know, I know it's Luciferians at the top, the Satanists fit in beneath that. How do all these other occultic systems, the kingdom of the cults, fit into this black pyramid? From your research, from top to bottom, what's the hierarchy? You know, from the 13 families to the servant families around them to the 6,000 superclass. How does the Committee of 300 nest within that?